Cats are one of the few creatures on Earth that are universally accepted as pet material. However, you may actually be surprised at some of the more rare and unique of the species. I'm Bob from World 5 List, and join me as I take you through 14 of the most rare and exotic cats. Number 14, the Serval. Now I begin easily with one of the most exotic cats out there, being the Serval. You'd be forgiven for not knowing about this special cat because it's from Africa. But what if I told you that the Serval is actually pretty popular in the United States as a pet? What makes this particular cat so interesting is its size and its look, because it's actually pretty tall for a cat. And if you saw one trotting around town, you would probably think that it's a cheetah. However, the Serval is actually rather docile. It doesn't climb, it enjoys being quiet, and it only hunts for small prey. And for those who are wondering, no, there has been no confirmed cases of one ever killing a human. Number 13, Peterbald. Now, a unique cat that's going to make you do a double take is the Peterbald. They're a species of cat that's found mostly in Russia and has the trait of being hairless. So they're quite literally bald cats. Though, to be fair, not all of them are bald. Some do get hair, but they often lose it. What kind of personality does the Peterbald have, you may be asking? Well, it's actually quite a playful species of cat, and more than that, it's also incredibly intelligent. So while it may not look the part, it will likely understand you better than most cats on my list, or even any of the ones that exist in the world today. And on a side note, it seems to resemble a cat who was once owned by a certain Dr. Evil. Number 12, Korat. Though cats are accepted in most cultures of the world, that doesn't really mean that they don't get their fair share of superstitions that come with them. A black cat, for example, is viewed as bad luck, but also there are good luck cats, one of them being the Korat. But why is the Korat considered to be so lucky? Well, it's actually because of its rarity, to the extent that during the 14th century they were a sign of status and honor among the Thai government. Some were even given away as gifts to foreigners as a symbol of good faith. Fast forward to today, and the Korat is still extremely rare. Their blue coat of fur is often never seen in the wild or even in the home. And this is likely because of their more reserved nature. They apparently don't enjoy loud noises, and that means that a city is going to drive them nuts. And their noses are also very sensitive to smell, which would also rule out a city. So hey, if you ever are fortunate enough to see a Korat, or lucky enough, see what I did there? Regardless of the circumstance, you should go buy a lottery ticket, because it may just be your day. Number 11, Caracoles. Heading back to the exotic kind of cat, the caracol is one that is both stunning to look at and more interesting in terms of how it acts. You see, this cat is known as a type of lynx, which is another exotic cat that's been known to have some more aggressive tendencies at times. And because of this, you may think that the caracoles are all the same, but you would be wrong. In fact, many do look at the caracoles as having the looks of a lynx, but the personality of the Serval. Some even believe they're more well-mannered than the Servals, which is really saying something. They also tend to act more like cats because they use hissing to communicate and are very independent, which really, to be honest, is a problem at times because then when they do go into a playful state, they're known to just wreck everything in their path. They've been known to be taken in as pets, but these seem to be a bit more high maintenance than most people can handle. Number 10, the Norwegian forest cat. But before I get going any further, if you're new here or if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so I can bring you more great videos like this one in the future. Now, the Norwegian forest cat is a breed of cat that's really popular in Europe. But during World War II, this particular cat almost became extinct. It did survive, mostly due to the efforts of the Norwegian Forest Cat Club. They saved the cats and then used a special breeding program to help bring their population numbers back to acceptable levels. And because of that, they were declared a species, and the Norwegian forest cat became official in the 1970s. Now, I find this one particularly heartwarming because when you think about extinct animals, rarely do you ever think of small cats like this one. But it does happen, and thankfully, they didn't end up dying out. Number 9. The Serengeti. This species is a recent addition to the cat world, as they were developed in the 1990s by taking a Bengal and an Oriental Shorthair and crossing them together. Because of this, they have the look that's been likened to the Serval, yet they're entirely different in every single way possible. The Serengeti has been described as a confident and active and graceful cat, which, sounds kind of perfect in my mind. How about you? Let me know in the comments below. Add to that, the breeding technique that helped to create this particular cat has inspired others around the world, and it just leaves you to wonder, what's going to be developed next? Number 8. The Ocelot. Ocelots are one of the more known exotic species of cats in the world. That's because they're gorgeous, and people have tried to make them pets for a really long time, with a lot of mixed results. Though you can truly understand why people would want to try and make one into a pet, their fur is simply stunning, and the way they look at you with those eyes, it's something special. But they can also be a handful. For example, they don't take very well to being commanded, and will downright ignore you at times. Cats are jerks after all, am I right? Furthermore, they have a particular odor that can be overwhelming, and have a very unique mating call that's going to terrify you. Number 7. The Ragamuffin. Now, while this may have an odd name, the Ragamuffin is a surprisingly unique cat. This particular breed was only recognized in 2003, but has taken the cat world by storm ever since. A mix of specials that include the ragdoll and certain breeds of street cat. However, when you look and touch its fur and see its eyes, it's clear how truly unique and special it really is. The Ragamuffin's fur is almost unnaturally soft, even being compared to a rabbit. So it's one cat that ends up being very low maintenance. And as if that wasn't enough, the Ragamuffin is actually pretty large for a domestic cat. It has a lot of heavy bones, and because of it, it's also very strong. Number 6. Jeffrey's cat. Now, from a rather big domestic cat to a very small exotic one, we turn to Jeffrey's cat. No, it isn't a cat that's owned by a specific person. However, it's a whole species, and one that's measured in as one of the smallest cats on Earth, to that extent that when they're fully grown, they only weigh about 8 pounds. Jeffrey's cat are survivors. They were born in South America and are so well adapted that neither the heat nor the cold is going to affect them. People do have an odd fascination with the breed, and apparently use it to breed a form of safari cat, and some have even tried to make it into a pet. Because of this, getting one is extremely difficult. Their entire species is regulated when it comes to trading or even trying to obtain them. Though known to be shy, they can attack when they're nervous or threatened, and they also prefer the quiet life, which is probably why South America suits them so well. Number 5. The California Spangled. Developed in the United States at the urging of an anthropologist by the name of Louis Leakey, the California Spangled is now one of the most rare cats in existence, proving that even cats can go out of style. Because you see, the California Spangled was made to resemble the cats of Africa, and you really have to admit they did do a pretty good job. It looks like a leopard, among other things of course, but sadly, the desire to breed a cat like this one also led to the breeding of the Bengal and the Ocelot, which made the popularity of the California Spangled take a nosedive. Number 4. The British Shorthair. It's well known that cats live very long lives and have been around for a very long time. But this species, it's one of the oldest known, the British Shorthair. The cat is so revered in the UK that it's actually inspired a whole lot of things, not the least of which was the look of the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. Plus, it's the most pedigreed breed in the entire country. To be honest, it's not really hard to see why people are attracted to it. It's big, it has those copper eyes that are both piercing and intimidating, and it has several different fur color possibilities, though it is most famous for its blue-gray combination. Thankfully though, unlike the Cheshire Cat it inspired, this one doesn't vanish or even talk, that I know of. Number 3. The Turkish Van. This is a cat that deserves a special spot on my list because of its unique fur and personality. Anyone who's ever raised a cat, and really I don't understand why you'd want to, knows that they drink water, but at the same time they hate being in it, and that only jungle cats will actually go for a swim, right? Well, wrong. Meet the Turkish Van. This cat is affectionately named the swimming cat because it loves to swim, and those who study the cat attribute it to the fur being water resistant, which I honestly didn't know was possible for a cat. The Turkish Van's history is pretty unique as well. They were originally found in the 1800s in Turkey, hence the name, and then later were brought over to the UK, yet they weren't brought to the United States until the 1980s. Before I go any further, why don't you tell me about your cat in the comments below, because I'd really love to hear about it. Number 2. The Egyptian Mau. Another cat that looks like a jungle cat is the Egyptian Mau, and it's unique because its spots are actually natural. No breeding or development is required, and that's only the beginning of what makes it a special cat. This is one of the fastest breeds of domestic cats out there. In fact, it's been registered as going 30 miles an hour. That's a really fast cat. But wait, there's more! The Egyptian Mau has also been documented as having a very musical sounding voice, which is a big plus for cat owners who don't want to hear that annoying meow, meow, meow every 5 seconds. Of course, I do speak from experience. Also, they have a very kind and gentle personality, which makes the Egyptian Mau a must-have pet if you can actually get a hold of one. Sadly, that brings me to the fact that there are only about 7,000 of these cats in existence, so they are a very rare breed. Number 1. The Bombay. So if you've stuck with me and you made it this far, you'd know that people really want miniaturized versions of big wild cats like the lynx and the bobcat and the lion. Another cat that people have apparently wanted to miniaturize is the panther, and because of that, the Bombay was created. These cats are rare, yet they really do look like a small version of a panther, just without the aggressive nature. The Bombay can even be leash trained, if you can believe it, proving that it's a very kind and docile breed. It's kind to other pets as well, to people, and those eyes, well, they just lure people in. Needless to say, it is one truly special cat. Thanks for watching. Have you ever seen or heard of any of the cats on my list? And which one of them do you want now that I've shown them to you? Let me know all about it in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.